Good morning, friends. Today we are going to start with stability analysis, in which a root locus method we are going to learn. We will review what we learned till today. What is there in this unit? The first point that we learned is stability of the system. That is what is absolute stability, what is marginal stability, and what is unstable system that we learn in this unit. Secondly, we learn a Routh-Hurwitz criteria, which is nothing but a criteria to calculate number of poles lies on left hand side of the S-plane. With the help of S-plane, we understand stability of the system, and it is our responsibility and it is our efforts to find out whether system is stable or not. It is to find out through purely mathematical way. Instead of physically going to implement the system, we find out stability of the system on paper first. A Routh-Hurwitz criteria plays very important role to find out stability of the system. It is very easy. We learned in the last lecture that checking whether the system is stable or not of a characteristics equation given in example 3.2, that is 2s raised to 4a plus s raised to 3 plus 3s square plus 5s plus 10. We find out stability using Routh-Hurwitz criteria and the array developed by this. If in a first column there are no sign change, we can say that number of poles lies on the left hand side of S-plane are all poles. So Routh-Hurwitz criteria always tells us it is easiest way to find out roots of the system and whether that poles accordingly lies on left hand side of the S-plane. Now characteristics equation is generated from a closed loop system. We suppose we have any closed loop system. We find out its output upon input equation. If you want to change gain of the system, we can do that. From this output upon input equation, we take its Laplace transform. Laplace transform is taken, and that is in the form of g of s upon 1 plus g of s into h of s format. Again, a denominator plays important role. The denominator show us a characteristics equation 1 plus g of s into h of s is showing us number of poles and zeros lies on left hand side or right hand side of the system, and hence denominator of closed loop transfer function, which is a characteristics equation, plays very important role, and it shows stability of the system. So characteristic equation, you know that denominator of transfer function is a characteristics equation, that is 1 plus g of s into h of s is equal to 0. That should be a characteristics, and this plays very important role ahead. Routh-Hurwitz criteria also, this equation is also a characteristics equation, which is the denominator of transfer function, and from this we understand whether system is stable or not. There will be one question on this particular point on a Routh-Hurwitz criteria. A problem may be there based upon Routh-Hurwitz criteria. Then we will now switch to root locus technique. In a figure 3.8, you will find a closed loop system. From this system itself, we are going into a transfer function equation, and from transfer function equation we will find out root locus of the system, so that we will analyze whether this figure 3.8 is stable or not. We will find out stability on paper using mathematical equation, and then we will implement it physically. This root locus technique needs a characteristic equation first from the transfer function. We find out for different poles from this characteristics equation. Then we find out with a angle condition and a magnitude condition. We find out angle of the poles and magnitude of the poles. Magnitude condition is also there. A problem in a question paper will like this: check whether s is equal to minus 0.5 is on root locus of the system whose transfer function is g of s into h of s. If point is on the root locus, calculate value of k at this point. Before learning this, we will directly go to a problem. We will understand problem, how to find out root locus, and then we will come back to analysis. So before going there, we firstly review what is there in a root locus technique, a graphical method of root locus technique. Rule 1. Since roots of characteristic equation are symmetrical about real axis, means horizontal axis, sigma axis, their locus is also symmetrical. This is first rule. Second rule is each branch of root locus originate from an open loop pole and terminates either on the open loop zeros or at infinity. That means it starts from pole 1 and it terminates at 0, 1. It starts from pole 2, terminates at 0, 2. It starts from pole 3 and may terminate at infinity. Or if there is no such zeros, then it will start from pole 1 and end at pole 2. And it may start from pole 3 and terminate at infinity. If there are only 3 poles and zeros, no zeros. Rule 3. Point on the real axis lies on the locus. If number of open loop poles plus zeros on the real axis to the right hand side of this point is odd. To understand the above rule, consider following example: g of s and h of s pole and zero plot for above open loop is as shown in figure 3.11. These are the poles and zeros that lies, that is pole 1, pole 2 and pole 3 is there. Also Z1 and Z2 is also there. And there is no poles on the right hand side of the S plane. So pole 3 is point on the real axis, lies on the locus. If the number of open loop poles plus zeros on the real axis to the right hand side of this point is odd. Okay, figure 3.12 shows it starts from P1 and ends at Z1. It starts from P2 and it ends at Z3. And it starts from P3 and ends at infinity. This is what the rule. Let us go to rule 4. This rule tells us P minus Z branches approach to infinity. To find out the angle of asymptotes, root locus contains asymptotes. So angle of the asymptotes are given by odd number of 180 degrees, that is 2q plus 1. Odd means 2q plus 1 or 2n plus 1. That's why it is odd, into 180 divided by p minus 0, that is poles minus number of zeros. rule 5, real part is given by coordinates of centroid is given by sigma a real part. Here you will find sigma a, that is sigma a is equal to sum real parts of poles minus real parts of zeros divided by number of poles minus number of zeros, which will give me a centroid which is always located on real axis. It may be located on negative or positive real axis. It may or may not be part of root locus. This is rule number 5. To find out breakaway point is important point and important rule. For finding out breakaway point from the characteristics equation 1 plus g of s into h of s is equal to 0, we use dk upon ds, that is here I am giving you dk upon ds is equal to 0. So, using Routh-Hurwitz criteria, we will find out breakaway points. And rule number 7 is to find out asymptotes on j axis or on auxiliary axis, j omega axis, to plot asymptotes using auxiliary equation from the Routh-Hurwitz criteria, that is intersection of Routh-Hurwitz criteria. Intersection of root locus branches with the imaginary axis can be determined by using Routh criteria. This is rule number 8, that is, and by pressing auxiliary equation finally we will find out value on j omega axis, or k is determined, gain of the factor, and then finally we will conclude about stability of the system. Root locus. Now a ultimate question may arise in your mind that why to learn root locus. We will directly go to problem so that you will understand use of root locus, and then we will come back to theory. Problem 3.6 we will learn. For the open loop function given below, sketch the root locus. Comment on stability of the system. G of s is equal to, here the problem is like this. Let me to write a problem. G of s is equal to k divided by s into bracket s plus 1 into bracket s plus 2. If this is the equation, then number of poles are 3 and number of zeros in above equation are 0. That means as there is k only in the numerator, this is a characteristics equation that I have written. So poles are 3 at the denominator, s is equal to 0, s is equal to minus 1 and s is equal to minus 2. These are the poles and if I plot these poles on S axis, if I plot this on this axis, you will find pole P1, P2 and P3 is there. Poles lies on left hand side of the S plane, where this is at -2. So poles lies on real axis of S plane, where real axis is sigma and imaginary axis is j omega. Poles P1, P2 and P3 lies at 0, -1 and -2 as I explained. Now to find out a root locus, we have to find out gain of the system or range of gain of system, from which range to which range the particular design system is stable, and what will be its path, what will be its impact, what will be its pole location for change in gain. That is what root locus plotting technique is. So if I change gain of the system, gain of the amplifier to 1, poles will change. If I change to 2, poles will follow root locus format. If I change it to 3, gain, root locus format will change, or poles will follow root locus path. So mathematically, first on paper we will locate the poles and find out its path for change in gain. That is our aim. Okay. Now the portion positive real axis is not on root locus. Portion from P1 to P2 and from P3 to infinity of real axis is root locus here. Currently root locus is this, P1 to P2 and P3 to infinity. This is point number 1. Rule number 1 is to plot poles and zeros on axis, and then as I told in a theory, we will again go back to theory that poles starting from P1 and ending up to P2, P3 to infinity is a root locus portion. First of all, we will find out angle of asymptotes. Angle of asymptotes are given as follows. Angle A is equal to 2q plus 1 into 180 degree divided by P minus Z is the equation. If I have this equation with me, 2q plus 1 180 degree divided by P minus Z, P is equal to 3. 2q means number of q is changing from 0, 1, 2, 3 and so on. That is odd part of 180 degree. This is equation to find out angle. So angle Q1 is equal to, if phi A1 is equal to, if Q is equal to 0, this angle is 180 divided by, this angle is 180 divided by 3, which is equal to 60. Then Q2 is equal to, if Q is equal to 1, then 1 into 2 plus 1, that is 3 into 180, that is 540 divided by 3, which is equal to 180 degree. So second angle of asymptote is 180 degree. Asymptote means the path. asymptote of loci, root loci, locus or root loci. Asymptote is a path. Root locus, it is related to your 12th root locus format. Now, third point, that is what? Calculating third angle, that is 2q plus 1 into 180 divided by p minus z, which is equal to, if q is equal to 2, it is 4 plus 1, 5 into, that is 2 into 2 plus 1 into 180 divided by 3, which is equal to 300. Next angle is 300. So there are three angles. One is 60, second is 180, and third is 300. These are the three angles by which this asymptote will follow. Then next stage is finding centroid for asymptotes. First step, that is what? First step is we plotted poles. Then second step, we found out angle of asymptotes. Third is to find out centroid for asymptotes. Sigma is equal to sum of real parts of poles minus sum of real parts of zeros upon p minus z is the equation to find out centroid, which is equal to real parts is equal to 0 minus 1 minus 2 divided by 3 minus 0. There are different no zeros here. So 0, which is equal to minus 3 upon minus 3, which is equal to minus 1. Okay? So this is equal to minus 1 here. So centroid of asymptote lies on minus 1. Okay? This is next. Now we will say that one branch of root locus will start at minus 2 and terminate to infinity along with 180 degree asymptote. The other two branches, one starts from 0, that is pole P1 starts from 0. Second pole P2 starts from minus 1 and move on the real axis. These two branches will meet each other on the real axis somewhere, that is pole P1 will start from 0 and P2 will start from minus 1 and will reach at certain point on axis. That point we have to find out. That is called breakaway point. Breakaway means from this point our asymptote starts increasing. This is called breakaway point. One branch will terminate to infinity along 60 degree asymptote and the second branch will terminate to infinity along 300 degree asymptote. So there are two asymptotes. One is at 60 degree and other will terminate at 300 degree. Here you will find these asymptotes are 60 degree. First one is 60 degree, another asymptote is at 300 degree and last asymptote is at 180 degree. The breakaway, to calculate breakaway point, calculate from characteristics equation, that is 1 plus g of s into h of s is equal to 0. As I have g of s into h of s in problem as k upon s into bracket s plus 1 into s plus 2 1 plus this total is equal to 0. So if I solve this, it will become s into s square plus 3s plus 2 plus k is equal to 0. Now we have to take dk upon ds or its derivative to find out Raoult-Hurwitz criteria in this system. It is important to find out Raoult-Hurwitz criteria. So dk upon ds, it fits into criteria 1 of Raoult-Hurwitz system, that is case 1. dk upon ds, if there are zeros lies, then we take dk upon ds or derivative of it when there will be 0 on first side, on first column. So by taking dk upon ds of above equation, it becomes s square plus 2s plus 0.66 is equal to 0. Roots of these equations are minus 0.41 and minus 1.583. These are two roots of this characteristics equation. If I have these two roots, then minus 1.583 we will skip because it lies out of this purview, that is pole 0 to 1 is there, and pole P2, that is P3, which is equal to 2 minus 2, roots are 0, minus 1, minus 2. Between minus 1 and minus 2 there is nothing lies, because asymptotes will change its pole from P1 to P2 and P3 onwards. So P2 to P3 is blank and minus 1.5 lies in this, so that we will skip, while minus 0.41 lies between P1 to P2, and hence we will consider only one root, that is minus 0.41. That is nothing but a breakaway point. One root is nothing but a breakaway point from which a asymptote starts. This is next part. Okay, now we have found out breakaway point from which asymptote will start. Breakaway point is minus 0.46 from which this asymptote will start. Okay, I found out centroid. Centroid is at minus 1. This is a centroid minus 1. I found breakaway point, that is minus 0.41 between pole P1 and P2. Okay, step by step we are going. First of all, we have plotted P1, P2, P3. Then we have plotted their portion from where it is stable. P1 starts from 0 and P2 starts from P2. They meet somewhere between P1 and P2, that is called breakaway point. The centroid point is calculated, and that is equal to minus 1 we got. Again I have found out angle of asymptotes, that is this curve by which angle it follows the path. One is 60 degree curve, second is 180 degree, and third one is 360 degree. Now we have to find out J root 2, how it has been appeared, how it came, or what is its value, and how to find out, so that we will plot this root locus. We found centroid by real parts of pole minus pole, real parts of zeros. Then we found out breakaway point. Now to find out portion where this asymptote meets on j omega axis, on imaginary axis, as there are no complex conjugates, poles or zeros, no need to calculate angle of departure or angle of arrival. The intersection of root locus to imaginary axis, the characteristics equation, the Routh array is, the characteristics equation is as given here. We found out already a characteristics equation. Using Routh-Hurwitz criteria, we will find out where this asymptote meets on j omega axis. Okay. The Routh array is s cube plus 3s square plus 2s plus k is equal to 0. If I plot this Routh's coefficients with reference to s3, s2, s1 and s0, it will be 1 corresponding to s cube, 2 corresponding to s raised to 1 and 0 after that. Secondly, 3s square 3, here 3, k, here k and 0 and so on. So 3 into 2, that is 6 minus k upon 3 is this, and 0 after that. Again 6 minus k upon 3 into k divided by 6 minus k upon 3, this k will be there. Okay. Now you will find that to make elements of rows s raised to 1, zeros, if it is 0, then k max is equal to 6, and why it should be 0? There should not be any sign change in column 1, that's why it should be 0 or greater than 0. This is a rule of Routh-Hurwitz criteria. So k is equal to 6. Now k is changing from, and lastly k is equal to 0. This is also equal to 0. So k is equal to 0 and k is equal to 6. So k is greater than 0 and less than 6. Okay. The gain of this closed loop system or control system should lie between 0 to 6, then this system will become stable. It is like this. Now the auxiliary equation at k is equal to 6 is, auxiliary equation is equation where this is equal to 0, 0 is this row, and this will give me auxiliary equation like this. 3s square plus k is equal to 0 is a auxiliary equation. So 3s square plus 6 is equal to 0, and hence s square is equal to minus 2. S square is equal to minus 2, and so s is equal to plus or minus j root 2, because s square is equal to 2 here, and hence I can say that s is equal to plus or minus j2. So root locus intersects at plus or minus j root 2. Root 2 is equal to 1.412 on the j omega axis. The complete root locus can be plotted in this fashion. J at k is equal to 0, at j root 2 we found out this point just before, that means these asymptotes intersect at j root 2 on imaginary axis where gain is maximum, that is 6 of this. Now how to plot it? Okay, let us plot this. Let us plot on blank. Okay, let us plot it. First of all, we found P1, P2, P3. Now, as we found centroid, it is -1 and the angles are 60, 180 degree, asymptotes has 300 degrees. Now P1 starts from 0 and ends up to -0.41, that is breakaway point, and P2 starts from -1 and goes up to 0.41. Here there will be a 0.41 at breakaway point. Again there will be √2, that is J√2, and so we will plot like this. J√2 up to infinity, -infinity, and this is up to infinity. This is a complete root locus technique. Complete root locus technique. These are asymptotes. This is centroid, k is equal to -1, sigma is equal to -41, this is breakaway point, and J√2, which is equal to the point where it asymptotes intersects with imaginary axis, and this is total complete root locus graph. Now from this root locus, what we understand, what we can conclude about the stability. First, for 0 to 6, that means k is changing from 0 to 6, all roots lies on left half of S plane, hence system is stable. If I put k amplifier or any system between 0 to 6, system will be stable because all roots will lie on left hand side of the S plane. For k is equal to 6, roots lies on imaginary axis, so system is marginally stable at k is equal to 6, because this root locus intersects at 6. Above 6 it goes up to roots goes into right hand side of the S plane or goes positively. So this root locus or asymptotes will follow actual path of stability. Third point or third conclusion is that for k is equal to 0 or k is less than 0, roots lies on right hand side of S plane. Here it should be k is less than 0, roots lies on right hand side of S plane, hence system is unstable. Below 0, system will become unstable. Above 6 again, system will become unstable. Between 0 to 6, this will follow a root locus path. As shape of this is just like a locus or loci, asymptotes are there and all these parts are there. This is important to study. Next part we will learn in the next lecture. Before that we will go for a conclusion. So how to find out root locus technique, let us understand from a theoretical point of view. First one, root locus characteristics equation are plotted, find out poles and zeros, then find centroid. Third point, find out center using Routh-Hurwitz criteria, then find out intersection on S plane using Routh-Hurwitz criteria, then plot asymptotes, and so on. This is what a complete system is. Okay, we will see next part in the next lecture.